Hello, OT families. Hopefully, you've gotten through some of the videos that I've posted already. In going through them, obviously, they were a first try. I have some tips and tricks for some kiddos who might be having problems with cutting that were left out of some of the previous videos that I want to share. So, the first thing that you need to know is that left handed cutters are going to cut clockwise, and right handed cutters are going to cut counterclockwise. So you always want their hands separated. This is the safest method, obviously, because you don't want to cut off little fingers. But basically, if you are right handed and you try to cut, you are going to start cutting, obviously, counterclockwise, because that's just where your hand is on the paper, and that's just how you would cut around a shape. Left for lefties, you have to reverse everything. And so they cut on the opposite side of the paper than righties do. And so they are cutting clockwise. I do know that some lefties try to cut the same way that righties cut, and it is very difficult for them. And if you are right handed trying to teach your child who is left handed to cut, this might pose a challenge for you. So that's the first tip that I want to share. Everything is going to be opposite. So if you find yourself being a righty teaching a lefty or being a lefty teaching a righty, everything needs to be opposite. So hopefully you can keep that rule in your mind when you're teaching your young ones. The other thing that I want to share is that the thickness of the paper does matter, especially for beginning cutters. So most often I'm cutting on construction paper. I'm not cutting on copy paper. Construction paper is a little thicker than copy paper, and so we definitely want to try to provide an easier method of cutting. If you find that you're trying to have your child cut on construction paper and they're still having a really difficult time, cardstock, sandpaper, things that are a little thicker are easier to cut. So you might need to start with something that, again, is a little thicker and that can hopefully assist you. Cutting Play-Doh is also really good. It doesn't always have to be paper that we're cutting. I think in one of the previous videos I mentioned that you can snip at straws, you can snip at Play-Doh. Basically, you can use scissors on pretty much anything. So whatever you have lying around the house, that's obviously going to be safe. I don't want your children trying to color aluminum or anything that they're going to get hurt on. But again, that's kind of the rule. The thicker it is, the easier it's going to be. Once we get towards copy paper, that's going to be a little trickier, a little harder. So we want to save that type of activity for our older children. So again, this is just some tips that were left out of the previous cutting videos that I wanted to share this evening. If you are having difficulties, please email me or text me, and I will be more than happy to get back with you. Have a great evening.